Okay, hey everybody. This is Grace. I'm on my way to yet another follow-up appointment. And this one I'm a little worried about. And it's kind of weird how all of it has gone so far. And I'm not going to name what kind of doctor it is. But I wonder what that was on the road over there. Lots of these little things all over the road. What in the world are they? See the little black thing? I don't know. But anyway, real life happens, you know. But I'm a little worried, and I'll give a little bit of background. When I was first given a referral by my doctor, my new doctor, newish, and to this type of doctor, I went to it, and I was like, I don't like this guy. He's, to me, age, ethnicity, any of that does not make a difference unless they need to know, and they don't know about, like I have a rare health condition. They need to know that. They need to understand it. They need to have dealt with somebody with it, or know somebody who does. They can refer me to them, something, because no, if they don't know about it, it's not going to be good for me. And that's who it's supposed to be good for, me. You know, I'm going to a doctor for a reason, not for them, for me. You see what I'm saying? Okay, and I'm also not going to them for them to talk, to talk to me as though it's a dictatorship, that they're going to tell me what's going to happen and not discuss it with me. And when I was in graduate school, I was a career student over 20 years. When I was in graduate student, what we learned was that any kind of patient, doctor-patient, or healthcare provider of any kind, mental and physical, these are relationships between them, and these are discussions. These are not dictatorships. And now, I wasn't one going around thinking, oh, I'm going to make sure. No, it just happened that when I started seeing that, that they're going to boss like that, to like that one last year that stuck her finger in my face, and then did the same thing to Adam, and she had this awful look on her face. That was after she checked my phone to make sure I wasn't videoing it. She said something else, but yeah, I knew. But she told me, I'm going to tell you what to do, and you're going to mind me. And she had that kind of voice. And then she turned to Adam, she said, and you're going to make sure that she does. I never went back. That was my first time there, and we were both, I think, so shocked that we didn't just get up and walk out. When she did it again, the same first visit, I never went back. Like I said, we never went back. So he was there for me, with me, and no, it was trash to me. She was just total trash. She did not deserve to have in my view, she does not deserve to have a license to practice at all. You don't speak to people like that. But I've had this problem for 25 years now because of my health condition. Rare health condition. So, okay, so the first one I was referred to, I went and saw. It was like, okay, they were immediately talking about money. Okay, I have great insurance. It pretty much pays for everything, and I'm serious. This Affordable Care Act is so wonderful insurance. I'm not kidding. And so that's good. So all that. But then they started talking about how much money they were going to be making. They want their own test. I said, no, I just took that test 2 weeks ago. I said, why would I need to do it again? And I didn't want to do it again because I have chemical allergies, and the gown that they had me put on stunk like potpourri. Oh, that's the worst for me. It's the worst for me. And all the way home, I had to smell that. On my, it was so strong, it left it on my body. Oh, man. But anyway, and they just kept talking about money. You know, the doctor, the specialist, his office manager. I heard the way they were talking to people. The front desk people were talking to people on the phone because one of their doctors just decided she or he wasn't going to be there one day, and just the attitude. I'm like, this is all around not what I want to see. And then the doctor, the specialist, came in, and he was like, I'm going to change your medicine, and I'm going to need much more extensive tests than just that one. And it just went on and on. So I told my doctor, I said, I don't want to have him. I said, I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't think it's a good mix. And all I said was, I don't think it's a good fit for me. I'm old enough to know when it's not, and I'll leave it there, and I just want somebody else. Well, he went and gave me one. I didn't know how would I would know. It was in the same office. No. So I got one from the ER doctor that I went to. One of the ER doctors, I got a referral from him. So I guess in a way I already gave out what kind it would be. I've seen a few ear doctors. One of them, however, he referred me to one that's in Austin, Texas. I live north of Dallas, Texas. No, that's not gonna work for me. Oh man. But anyway, I'm telling you. So anyway, so I saw that doctor, and I saw this one, and the one that I was referred to, he's when I called, they said no, he doesn't have his first appointment for his next appointment for a first appointment. You know, that would be a first appointment for me. Would be, it was a long time. He said, but we do have this other doctor, and he's not booked up, and so they gave me him. I was quite surprised when I went and saw him. He was so young. I actually thought he was more like like maybe an intern, or maybe a PA. Yeah, that had just gotten out of school, a PA. Really, I did not expect that to be the specialist. So, now I can't say much about that because I looked younger than my age until I hit 59. Here, 59. Oh my goodness. Everything changed. I look my age now. If not, maybe even a little older. But I don't recognize the person in the mirror at all. Really. But I'm getting used to it, of course, but still. It's like, wow, what a change quickly. Anyway. So I was surprised by his age. I didn't say anything. I mean, it doesn't matter if he knows what he's talking about. If he knows about my rare health condition. If he can understand it. If he doesn't have a problem with all the things that are going to be mixed together. He's going to have some kind, you know, some, whatever you call it, whatever they would call it, with other doctors from other specialties, the specializations. He's going to have that. And I already saw that he might not want to, you know. So there's that. But there's another one too that's a red flag. Okay. Now the other red flag was the way his staff treated me over the phone. That's a big, it was just a total big red flag. And one of them was, I'm guessing, his MA. And the next one was someone that was, they had called me back for a follow-up on that, for what the doctor said, in response to a phone call I made. Well, my phone, every once in a while, doesn't let me slide it to answer. Don't know why. And so I called right back. And I don't know if I just got somebody else instead of the one that was calling me or what. But when she called me, I said, see, here's the problem. The first woman I spoke to, she told me she was not going to listen to what I was calling about. She was just going to go by what the doctor had said on his notes from my previous visit. And I told her, I said, I'd only had one visit with him ever, and what she had told me was he said to continue taking a certain medication. I said, and then he told me not to start that medication and until I had some tests, and I haven't had those tests. So he could not have written like the first woman and the second woman said, was to continue taking that medication. See, I didn't even have that medication. Okay. So I'd never taken it. He couldn't have written that on his first notes for me to continue taking it because he knew I wasn't taking him, and he was writing the prescription at the time of that visit. And he had told me to wait. Now, if he's that forgetful, I don't think so. I think that they wanted to, well, I'm not gonna guess. But I have had problems like that with staff before, and it was always the doctor really didn't know anything about my rare health condition. And I could tell. And I'm already telling. Because he's happy that I'm having this other specialist. Well, he's going to have to work with that other specialist. They're all probably around the same age, even. You know. I mean, I don't know what happened to older. I mean, like I said, I don't care if they're younger as long as they know. But what happened to the older people that were, I'm talking maybe in their 40s. What happened to them? They're not long. Most of them seem to be around their early 30s. I mean, that would be right out of school. Really, they seem so young. Maybe it's just how I see them, so young. But no, this one was surprising to me, how young. And anyway, so I don't know. I mean, I'm going to see. I have a feeling I'm going to see today. You know, because they tend to do the same thing if they don't. Like that one that stuck her finger in my face. She told me. The other ones hadn't told me this. That because of my rare health condition, it causes her, which would mean the specialist, it would cause all of them more problems. Okay, and then the one that before was a different title. You know, he let me know too, in his own way. He was trying so hard to find somebody, a specialist, to throw me off on. Somebody else, so hard. One that same group, they were, the woman I spoke to, she was very angry. She said, he is too pushy. And he called here, you know, had his nurse call here demanding stuff. And that's not how it works with us. You know, and I said, I had no idea they were calling. I had no idea. She said, you didn't have any? I said, no. She said, well, that's what he, you know, she basically told me, that's what he's doing. He's trying to call around and then asking them who they should call so he could put them off on, me off on them. You know, it's they have to do their work. They have to read up on it. They have to know what they're talking about. And that's a specialist. The kind of specialists that would know, they don't. It's serious. It's like, they don't want that kind of patient because it has something to do with, it's not something that improves really fast. It makes their numbers look good. You know, their numbers of how, you know, much improvement they've had on the patients. It doesn't work the same way as with other patients. And they want the easy, quick, easy ones. I read a whole bunch of stuff on all this. And from people that you would not think they're conspiracy theorists. They're just stating, this is what it is. They have all these numbers. They have to meet with this and that and the other. And a patient like me with this rare health condition would throw it off. Okay, plus it's time consuming for them. Like that one that, I said the one stuck her finger in my face and Adam's face. She flat out said it would take up a lot of her time. makes it more difficult for her. Imagine living with it. But you know, that would involve empathy and compassion and stuff like that. I don't think she had that. She certainly lacked it. So it was all about her. It's so sickening. It's very sickening. Okay, I'm here. I always do it like this whenever I get here, or any place that I'm going to. Anyway, on my way here, I got to one of these big lights. Hold on. Okay, anyway, that's kind of fading it out, huh? But I got to one of these, one big lights. And lots of roads meet right there. I mean, lots of lanes meet right there. And something started ticking. And I couldn't tell if it was on my SUV or somebody next to me or what was going on, if it was at the light. But it was ticking. It was so weird. I'm like, okay. Does always have to be something. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm early. I guess about 30 minutes early. My appointment isn't until 45 minutes, but then they want you to be there 15 minutes early. Okay, I'm there 15 minutes early, but then they put me in a room and they make me wait past my appointment time. That's what they did the only other time I actually came in. And I had to wait past my appointment time, and then he was supposed to take 30 minutes, but he whipped out, 20 maximum. And I have questions, so hope he doesn't do that this time. And this time might not be a good thing for me, because after all this time, I should have had, I would think, this test before now. And I of course, I wouldn't know. I'm not any kind of healthcare, not any kind of physical healthcare guru or a voice of authority, or I just would not know this. This is not something I would know. That they do this and they do that, and then how it all works, I wouldn't know. But this, I would think, would have been something they should have done real early on, because everything else was showing up. Oh, it's okay, it's stable. Stable apparently means it's just the same as it was before. But come on, I mean, I would think this is the big one they would have done, and they did it finally. And this is my regular appointment, another appointment. It's just a regular time. I'd already scheduled it long before this one. And so I just want to see. But I did get it, they send, once they get them, they look them over, and then they send something, say, this or that. And then they showed mild this, mild that. But I don't know. It's something weird about the whole thing. I don't want to sound like this whole thing is about me thinking something weird, but I don't want to give all the details. And the details, would definitely the devil in those details. It would show that I have good reason to be suspicious that he might not want to do mine, because he's inexperienced. He's not experienced enough to handle it. I do think so. And if they're as bad as what I've seen in the past, like I said, 25 years, the first one I was sent to was by a hospital, same chain hospital, and that was in the year 2000, so it was 25 years ago. And she walked in, and she was a specialist, walked in and threw a temper tantrum. I think she just walked in and started just throwing a fit of rage, and just went on, and I'm just sitting there looking at her like, what the, those kinds of things can stun you. You think by now I wouldn't no longer be stunned, but still does. And she threw such a temper tantrum. And then finally it seemed like she caught herself and saw that I was an actual human sitting there. Not just some case, some rare health condition. That there was actually a person sitting there, and then she kind of, and she shook herself and kind of calmed down. But she was still insulting to me, too. The way she said things like I was some piece of insignificant piece of whatever. And there were other women that, I'm like, whoa, you need to chill yourself here. But it's been rather consistent. Even just regular PCPs, when they find out they don't want to do it, they throw temper tantrums or have their staff throw temper tantrums. Even call me on the phone to throw temper tantrums. Adam, like I said, has been there and seen it. And he's heard them. So, okay, you are parked way too close to me, woman. Really? She just drove up and parked real close to me so I can't get out. Okay, maybe she could tell that she made it difficult for me to get out. Because she backed it up and moved it back over some. She's sitting next to, you know, one of those, what is it called? The one where it's just grass right there. So she didn't need to park that close to me. And I had opened the door to let her see. Yeah, she come out over and looked, and she saw how far she was. So that it was good, because I'm far from the line. I mean, seriously. The people next to me are parked backwards, so they're not going to be using that door, and I'm not real close to them. But she had to get right on top of me. You know? I was like, come on now. You know, people be friendly. But anyway, I got to talk to this one about stuff, and then find out who am I supposed to go see. You know, who do I need to see? Because some of the stuff is surprising. Who do you go and see? One of them told me that the person I would go and see, it was not about this, it was about something else. And she said that I would see I was seeing her for one reason, but she said she has to wait for this one. And I don't even remember what she said she had to wait for this one for. I hope they get it all together and figure all that out themselves. But she was the one to tell me that I need to see someone. I don't think she even used the technical name for, what is it, the technical name for them? Technical? What is their name for ones that deal with lungs? You know, and it was about sleep apnea. Okay, to see if I could possibly have sleep apnea. I cannot lay on my back. And a lot of the tests that they want to run means I have to lay on my back in order to, you know, run the scans and stuff like that. Well, that causes me problems, so you see. Okay, I don't know how long later, like, well, maybe 2 or so hours later. But I had to stop and get us something to eat. I have not had anything since early today. Well, actually, I did have some lunch, a little bit, very little. I had to rush out. But anyway, so I saw the doctor. They gotta run more tests. And I might have to have surgery. One thing after another. Oh. Hopefully, he's wanting to put me on a medication. Come on, you are driving way too fast. Way too fast. Look. Did you see it? You didn't get to see it. Just, wow. Okay, maybe if I put this like this, you'd be able to see it now. That was way too fast. Okay, I don't know how this road works here. I think it's this way. And they have it this way. Nope, you don't pull out in front of me. Some people think they do. You see people going straight. That doesn't mean you turn in front of them. Oh my goodness. Wow. That's scary. But anyway, I might have to have surgery. It's apparently because so does Adam have to have the same kind of surgery. He knows he needs it, but they put him on medication. Me, he wants to put me on medication, then see, but I'm going to be called to take that test to see if I might need it before I take the medications. It's kind of confusing. But anyway, I He looked different, a little different today. I see he might be in his 30s. So, but he really doesn't look like that. He looks so young. But yeah, maybe he was standing closer to me this time, so I got to see that he's not as young as I originally thought. But I'm so tired. I really am tired of so much. You know, all this stuff should have been taken care of 2 years ago. That's when it all should have started. 2 years ago. But no, nobody was going to listen to me. And so, you know, I had been complaining sort of in 2023, 2 years in April. Today is May 1st. So it was 2 years April. I don't know what day, but yeah. Nobody listens. You know, I had well, pretty much. I don't think I saw anybody who really listened and then did something until March of this year. After all that. And that's because I was blown up like a balloon. Seriously, my knees were so unbelievably large, like you couldn't even see the knee bones. And on me, you can see the knee bones. Normally, you can see the knee. This was so blown up, you could not see it. Both knees. I was like fixated when I was in the hospital ER, sitting there, and I looked at him and I went, whoa, and I was just fixated on my right knee. I was like, whoa. It was just so amazing to me that it had gotten that big, that swollen. I have edema, so I've experienced my ankles and my legs even. But for my knee, no. And it was above the knee even too, which is not good. But, well, I've just kind of said I wasn't going to say what it was, but that's what it was. And so they're going to see if I might as well just finish the rest of this. They're going to see if I need stents. That would be plural. You know, I could say a lot more about when this. Oh my gosh! Really? Look at that jerk up there. Did you see that jerk? Really? Oh my gosh! Look at this jerk. Can you see him? In front of this one, in front of me, in front of that one. Guys just driving all over, weaving in and out. Oh, I gotta be first. I gotta be first. Just unbelievable. Almost having wrecks because they gotta be first. Gotta be first. Man, such idiots. Watch them running. Watch them running. Watch them running. Yep. Oh my gosh. No. People like that make me sick. Really. And yes, I know it's okay to turn on a yellow, but just his whole behavior, his or her. I thought I saw a man, but I don't know, before y'all could see it. So, oh my goodness. But yeah, I have bigger fish to fry, right? Oh my goodness, they're thinking that I might need stents. But the guy, he said he doesn't know for certain. He said there's so many reasons that my results it was mild, that they could be this, and he wants to just eliminate that one by going ahead and taking those tests, and then we can eliminate it or see if it needs to be done, then we do it. He said but there could be so many other reasons why this caused this. So I think I know. I went through too much stress. Yeah, I went through way too much stress, and my blood pressure was sky high for too long, and I kept complaining, look, something needs to be done with this. And like I said, those 2 years, it wasn't just about that, it was other stuff, and that was not good. It was No, it was basically that of somebody wanting to off me, you know. Get out of the road. Get out of the road. That's what Adam tells me to do. Just act like you're going to hit them. Because they should not have put themselves in the middle of the road like that. No. I'm not at the same time, I'm not one of those hostile drivers, but come on, you put yourself out there in the middle, you're going to stop and make every traffic that's coming this way stop? Because that would have been too close, and then I couldn't see. I mean, I had to look and see and all that. They just make everybody stop because they want to go first. They're first. You'll see that a gazillion times on these roads. Trust me, I'm not the only person complaining. This place had a reputation long ago. Okay, anyway, like I was saying, this area had a reputation long before I even knew it exists, from what I understand. And that was probably 35, 40 years ago when I first heard of it. So, yeah. But people have this high sense of entitlement. Not everybody, of course. No place should really have a reputation. They want to make it one suburb, but it's an area. You can go outside of that area, and it's just like, okay, this is more normal people, stuff that normal people do. You know, normal driving. Every once in a while somebody messes up. But not all, but in those areas, like this area, people are darting in and out, because they're first. You know, they own the road, they're entitled. Everybody's supposed to stop and just part the ways for them to get through. You can see people cross 3 lanes to go all the way to the 4th lane to turn, and they decide they just need to turn there. So you all got to stop, all of you. Anyway, I'm eating French fries over here. I know to eat my portion of them before I get home. Last time I got French fries, I told Adam that. You know, I've known him over 40 years. And he knows I'm going to eat mine. And he just, like, he didn't want any fries. And it was unusual for me to like fries, to want fries. So I got some, and then he said he didn't want any, you know, when I was ordering, before I got home. And he wasn't with me. I got home with him and he ate them. He loves fries. I don't care for him too much. Anything fried, really. And here I am having KFC. Oh boy. But yeah, my whole diet is going to change. I know that. And I've been telling them I want a dietitian to help me. Because not only the rare health condition, but diabetic. Now this, I'm going to have a dietitian to help me out. And hopefully it's not one of those who just gives a list. Said this many ounces of this many ounces of that. Oh, here we go, another one. Okay, yeah, I'm being all kinds of judgmental. And then I bought this chicken, knowing better. I don't know. I am tired. I want to eat. It's like a normal person for a change today. Have some chicken and little French fries. I think the other thing, yeah, like a mac and cheese with it. And just have something that makes my stomach not growl all night. I'm hungry all the time. I'm serious. I'm like hungry almost all the time. And yeah, this is rough. You know, they're not telling me to eat less, but at the same time, everything has so much sodium in it. I mean, you know, even I don't cook with salt. I never was one to cook with salt. Seriously, never. I mean, I put some garlic salt a little bit, but not much. I'm not one of those. I mean, the way some people put salt in stuff and they show it on these videos and such. I'm like, really? You put that much and that much pepper and that much? Oh my goodness. Especially salt. Oh my. And it's an embarrassment to go to me with these hamburger joints. Not all of them, but the majority. Would they have sodium count? Really? You know, and they don't add up right either. And I'm not stupid. I started off as a math and computer science major. And there, you know, you do the one that has the burger with the one patty and then versus burger with two patties. It doesn't add up right. And some of them, I know it's, you know, we all know it's going to be just one patty difference, not the whole thing. Still does not add up right. Seriously, because the calories will only be like 100 more. Really? With one patty? Something's not right. Fishy. Okay, maybe I'll make more sense if I said that, you know, that 100, whatever the measurement is on, they use for salt, for sodium, not salt, but sodium. Yeah, that's not going to be the difference between a one patty burger and a two patty burger. No, I cannot see it, but you'll have to see what I'm. See, I don't want to name the names, so you just investigate it yourself. I mean, seriously, it just can't be 100. When the next one would be similar size on a different restaurant chain, and it's going to be 300, 400, 500, 600. You see what I'm saying? Okay, you don't get both lanes. Even though you might think you feel entitled, you don't get both lanes. Nope. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I need to get home. And this worries me, but you know, Adam has known the same thing about himself, and he really needs to quit smoking because his smoking is bothering me. You know, big time bothering me. And I used to be a smoker. I smoked, I don't know, over 40 years, so I can't say too much. And when I quit, I just said nope. But then, well, this August, end of August, early September, I don't know which date it was, that I finally just totally quit, will be 3 years. Okay, but sometime within this, I did start smoking. I mean, I'm not going to say I started smoking. I tried it. And I said, I couldn't breathe. I could not breathe. It was causing me so much problems. I mean, you know, I tried it for, I don't know, I think I tried it for like a month or two. He said, Adam says it was a month. I think it was more like 2, somewhere around there. And we don't, neither one of us remember what month that was. Whether it was October, November, months. October, November, or November, December, whenever it was. That's when I was going through an unbelievable amount of stress. When you have somebody trying to off you, I'm talking knock you off the planet, yeah, that kind of stress. So, my blood pressure was sky high all the time. And then once that was no longer a problem, the person's kicked out of the country, basically. Yeah. Then my blood pressure went back to normal. Amazing how that works. It's not amazing. My degrees are in psychology and sociology. I had a clue. And that's what I think is what's leading to this. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Talk to you on another video.